guys, it's Juan Zuniga and this is Jensik, and today's topic is going to be on how to buy a sports car. I've been receiving a lot of comments on my videos and I've been receiving emails on how can I buy a sports car? How can you guys afford all this? So today I'm going to give you a few tips that we follow and that we do. Now, I am going to receive a lot of comments, I know, in this video saying, why spend so much money on a sports car? Why do you spend your money on cars that they depreciate so much? Blah, 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 blah. Invest the money. I know that. I can invest and I already know all that. However, I like cars, we like cars, and we're going to buy cars. We still invest money. However, we're still going to buy cars. So this is not about, oh, you can actually invest your money instead of buying a sports car. No. Enjoy it. If you have the money, buy the sports car and go for it. All right, so the first tip is to actually buy a car that you like. All right, so look around. Look at the cars that you actually want to buy and buy something you like. Don't settle for the next best thing just because you can't afford it right now. If that's the case, then wait a little longer. Because if you get that car and you're not happy with it, you're never going to be happy with that car. You're going to hate it. You're actually going to not like it at all. I actually had a car for 2 months. The car was an amazing car. It had the power, had everything, but it just wasn't the car for me. I actually didn't have fun with it. It wasn't the car of my dreams. I bought it because it was fast. It was a sports car. I liked it, blah, blah, but I wasn't happy. 2 months later, I traded it in for something else, and at that time, I couldn't have been happier. I loved the sports car that I had at that time, and I had so much fun after that. I actually enjoyed the car that I had. The next tip is to actually budget. You actually have to see what you can afford and how this is all going to fit in your budget. Don't just go buy the car because you like it and you have a little extra few bucks. Because remember, it's not just the car that you actually have to pay for. You actually have to pay for insurance, gas, and maintenance, and that can add up. Just because you have a few $100 there, you can actually probably afford paying for that extra car. It doesn't mean you can afford for all the other expenses that come with it. However, budget right. Make sure you know what you can afford and how much you can afford and go from there. The next tip is to actually save some money. When you're going to buy a car, you either save the money to put a down payment or to buy it outright. I think to put a down payment or to buy it outright is actually the best way to go. That way you save yourself thousands of dollars in interest. Putting a down payment is a great idea if you can buy it outright right away. Or if it's a very, very expensive car, it will lower the payment significantly and you're going to save a lot of interest. However, if you can buy your car outright, that is the best way to go. That way, like I said, you save thousands of dollars in interest. Now, how do you save the money? You can save the money by stop going to Starbucks every day, or stop going to fast food restaurants or eating out all the time, and actually cook your food at home. You can save thousands of dollars a year by doing that. And instead of going to Starbucks and spending $5 a day or whatever the coffee is at Starbucks, put that in your bank account and you're going to save so much money that when you look at your bank account, it's going to be growing significantly and you're going to be closer to your goal of buying your sports car. The fifth tip is to test drive all the cars that you want. All right, so have a list of cars that you want, that you actually love and actually like, or your dream cars, and test drive them all. Because just because you like how it looks or because you've heard great things about it doesn't mean it's going to be a great car. There were a few cars in my list that I thought were going to be amazing and that I was going to love, but as soon as I test drove them, I wasn't happy. I either didn't have fun while I was driving it, or it just the ride quality or the power wasn't there, or the interior wasn't there. There were a few cars that I drove that I thought were going to be amazing and I really didn't like. For example, I actually test drove the M4. I've heard great things about the M4 and I thought the M4 was going to be a great car to drive. When I drove the M4, I hated it. It was one of the most boring cars I could drive. I couldn't feel the power. It felt predictable. It just wasn't fun. Same thing happened with the R-Type. The Jaguar R-Type had the numbers, it had the power, it was very comparable to a Z06, but it wasn't fun. Compared to a Z06, when you drive it, and you can feel more excitement when you're driving it. Now, look at the AMG that I bought. I actually test drove this one, and instantly, as soon as I drove it, I felt the excitement. Oh.
That's
beautiful. Oh, you hear those downshifts?
Those crackle pops.
Amazing.
Snap, crackle, pop.
And I was very happy when I was driving it. I actually had fun when I was driving it, and it had the power that I was looking. It actually had enough power, even though the numbers are not completely there compared to a Z06 or a Viper. It actually has enough power for me to have fun. Same thing happened with the Porsche. The Porsche doesn't have amazing horsepower and torque and all that, but it's a very, very fun car to drive.
Oh my god. Wow. I lost the phone. Wait a second.
So test drive all the cars and see which car is better for you. So the sixth and final tip is buy used. I think buying new is a big mistake, especially with an expensive car, because depreciation is going to hit you hard. For example, there's cars that were 100,000 or 150,000 new, and now they're $50,000 or $40,000, and they're the same cars. It's just that the depreciation hit and the car value went down significantly. So buying used, you can avoid that huge depreciation. Now, depreciation is always going to hit you no matter what, because that's what cars do. They depreciate. There's very, very few cars that actually increase in value. Most cars depreciate and you're going to lose money. That's the way it is. So look for used. And another great tip is, if the look of the car hasn't changed so much in, like, for example, let's say 4 or 5 years, look for an older model. Let's say, for example, 2017, 16, 15, 14, and 13, they look the same. Try looking for a 2013 or a 2014 and see if you can actually get a better price. So, for example, Porsche has had the same design for a few years now. So instead of trying to get a brand new one, try getting a previous model like a 2014, where it actually looks pretty similar to the new ones. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. This video was a little different, and just to answer a few questions of a lot of people that have been asking me on my comments and all the emails that I'm receiving. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know of any other tips that you recommend if you're going to buy your new sports car. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Remember to comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.